Greetings everybody. We are at Hannover Messe 2025 Siemens booth. We're here with Mathias, who leads the digital industries at Siemens, the innovation. So maybe start with, what did manufacturing tell you when they talk about industrial digitalization? What do we actually want?
Yeah, you know, Siemens is a big company, and I work in the digital industry space, also the majority of the portfolio which we are presenting here. And I'm there driving the customer-driven innovation, which is something new. So in the history, we have driven a lot of technology out and coming out new products and so on for our customers, present them at fairs like here. But we changed a little bit over the past years to say we would like to understand the problems of our customers earlier and better before we start innovating and developing new kinds of technologies and products and crank them out to the market. So what I perceive over the past years, so almost 4 years now, I'm talking intensively to customers how they anticipate their industrial operations, their productions, their manufacturing to look like in about 5 to 10 years from now. And I don't ask them about what kind of products do you need from Siemens in 5 years. Right. I really want to understand what doesn't let them sleep well if they think about the future. Where would they like to be? How do they anticipate their future to look like? Mm-hmm. And what I hear is a lot, there's so much change going on. So in the past we were looking at, I need to optimize the time, I need to optimize the cost, I need to get the right quality out there. So we know that classical triangle. But now we have this lack of talent, of people, less people available for doing basically all the jobs I'm doing today. We have all the geopolitical tensions. So tariffs and different kinds of hemispheres which are more or less collaborating together. So from globalization we are moving more into localization. And then we have also all that technology disruption which is coming in. Everybody's talking nowadays about generative AI and co-pilots and so on and so forth. So technology has a major impact as well to driving certain kinds of change. And what customers want to have and need in these times more than ever is to say, I need to speed up, I need to become faster, I need to become way more adaptable to be surviving of the fittest, so I fit best to the changing circumstances. And there's a willingness to invest in resilience. I'm more resilient to whatever change comes next because we don't know yet. I need to plan for the unplanned event.
Right, now I picked up speed, I picked up resilience, and I picked up, there was one other...
adaptability.
Adaptability. Now, you walk down the hallways everywhere, there is AI, there is digital twins, there's smart automation, but what's one area you think the manufacturers are underutilizing the technology today?
So it's actually that the challenge I would anticipate is it's not only a technology challenge. Mm-hmm. I need to go into a transformation. I need to be willing to go into that transformation, and that transformation usually starts from, I would say, mind and heart, that I'm willing to do things differently than I have done them in the past. So, and the other thing is I need to change my organization, and then technology. So it's all three pieces. Transformation only is successful if I get the people, the organization, and the technology solved. And we were talking and focusing so much because we love it and we're all engineers about these technology things, but we are missing that our organization structure is not prepared for it, our people are not prepared for it, and maybe I have a completely different mindset currently that prohibits a little bit the collaboration which I need to solve their challenges. One example to pick also a little bit on the generative AI, in the past years we were all told in industry, almost for the last decades, data is new gold. What do you do with gold? You keep it safe, you protect it, you put it in your vault. Nobody told you that it's not gold yet. Right. So we have sprinkled data everywhere, but we need a lot of data to make generative AI, which is general purpose, to an industrial grade level. And this is nobody able to do alone. So we need to start collaborating, and then potentially it can become gold. But if I run around with that mindset, it's gold, I need to protect it, I will not be able to master it. So I need to change that fundamentally and saying, hey, how can we collaborate? How can we solve their challenges together? Because we're all in the same boat. And to just say, we also, Siemens, are a manufacturer. We have over 120 factories ourselves. So we're also in the same boat and running that transformation, which we could basically utilize. We are willing to utilize and bring in our learnings to the benefits of our customers. They don't need to basically gain the same learnings and make the same pitfalls. Right. They can benefit from where we are already and basically piggyback on that transformation. And then we can utilize all that technology, AI, smart manufacturing, and so on, to bring it in. But it's a threefold transformational exercise.
Thank you for those insights. Now, you referenced earlier what keeps some of your customers up at night. I'm curious how you balance the long-term innovation goals with short-term ROI type of situation within a large company like Siemens.
Yeah, that's a very valid question, because that also every company has. So, and I'm a fan of what I call be very bold in your vision, but be pragmatic in your execution. So you need to know where you would like to go. Also makes that vision emotionally catching to all your employees and so on. If I would like you to start moving to a target which I describe, it needs to be attractive to you, that you say, oh, it's worthwhile to invest energy that I move myself to that new future state or get closer. And the other thing is I need to be very honest on where I am today. So what's the current situation? And then I can start path planning and saying, okay, if I'm here, I want to go there. I takes the initial step, and that initial step should already start benefiting. We developed a concept which we call the Enterprise Transformation Framework, which is accompanying our customers, our clients along that journey and saying, okay, we take you along that journey, which we meanwhile did with over 130 customers, to have at the end a very first step which is very pragmatic and generates return immediately. And we also need to do it. So we are publicly listed. You can imagine quarter results have to be delivered. Right. We need to have the innovation in mind, long-term success of the company, but also basically have an immediate payback and be cautious about costs. Then we could talk a lot about how you smartly allocate capital and fostering innovations and so on, but that's maybe a completely different story.
So earlier in the careers, I've observed Siemens transform right from lately speaking towards scalability, interoperability, and particularly openness. How important is this in creating truly scalable innovation for manufacturing across diverse plants and ecosystem?
So I think that openness is essential, because coming earlier to what I said about that collaboration and data is the new gold, and we need to learn that we only can solve it together. And this is also important to understand. Together only works better if we are open. If I don't force you to be all Siemens. And honestly speaking, Siemens also doesn't have all the answer by ourselves. So we have to admire that and say, we don't know everything by ourselves. So with the admiring, we need to be open. We need to invite others, and we collaborated heavily with solution partners and so on in the past. We're continuing to do that. But we're even intensifying it to invite others, saying you can even bring your portfolio pieces, making the overall offerings and the solutions more compelling, more rich, and together we can really master that transformation. So openness is key, and it needs to be also the perception. So I would bet most of our products are way more open than any of the other products out there, but it's sometimes also not that, to be honest, perceived, because it's a big company, you get a lot of things, you might fear, okay, I have too much on the same basket, but you are flexible, and you will gain much more flexibility. Nevertheless, the integration and the user experience, the seamless integration, will become a key differentiator also in future, but it will not be a forced in effect on our portfolio under the umbrella of Siemens Accelerator. That's a clear promise which we make very bold to the market and where we all stand behind. And it also changes the way we work with our clients. That openness also changes, we break down silos. And not only IIoT silos, also between different companies, between different departments and so on and so forth.
Matthias, if there was one mindset you want to change manufacturer to stay relevant in 5 years, what would that be? What advice do you have for them?
Collaborate.
Collaborate.
It's all about collaboration, being open and taking the first step should be the step in. I step in and be willing to collaborate without knowing 100%, 20% what I get in the return, calculated on the dollar or the euro. No, start to open up, to collaborate. And the second advice is now. The most important moment is now. Or saying, if you want to compare it to a tree which wants to grow, and it's similar to an innovation, the best moment in your life to plant a tree would potentially be 20 years ago. Second best moment is to do it now. You can not complain, not look backwards and so on. Let's do it now and start collaborating.
And I know Matthias is drinking his own champagne because we met at ARC, and on the name of collaboration, here we are here doing the interview and looking forward to host you during the manufacturing day. So if you're in the audience, feel free to leverage the hashtag you see on the screen. Matthias, thank you for sharing the insights.
Thank you so much for having me.